In a time when the world was ruled by kings who held the power of life and death in a single gesture, and when the fate of entire peoples could hinge on a whisper in a royal hall, one young woman rose from obscurity to become the salvation of her nation. This is the story of Esther, a Jewish orphan girl who became queen in the mighty empire of Persia, and whose bravery, wisdom, and faith would alter the course of history. The story begins in the 5th century BC, in the Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful kingdom on earth at the time. It stretched from India to Ethiopia, ruling over 127 provinces. Esther 1 verse 1. Its capital, Susa, buzzed with politics, opulence, and intrigue. King Ahasuerus, also known historically as Xerxes I, was the emperor. He was known for his wealth, temper, and dramatic decisions. And it was one of those decisions that would set the stage for Esther's rise. After Queen Vashti refuses to appear at a royal banquet to showcase her beauty, Esther 1 verses 10 to 12, the king is enraged. She is deposed, and a search begins for a new queen. But this isn't a love story, it's a political maneuver. The king's advisors urge him to gather the most beautiful young women from across the empire. A royal beauty contest with unimaginable stakes. Among those taken to the palace is Hadassah, better known by her Persian name, Esther. She is young, orphaned, raised by her cousin Mordecai in the Jewish exile community of Susa, Esther 2 verse 7. She is a foreigner, a nobody in the eyes of the empire. And yet, the favor of God is upon her. When Esther enters the palace, something extraordinary happens. She wins the admiration of everyone, including Haggai, the keeper of the women. She is given special treatment, and eventually, when she is brought before the king, he is captivated. The king loved Esther more than all the other women, so he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Esther 2 verse 17, NKJV. But there's a secret. Esther does not reveal her Jewish identity. At Mordecai's instruction, it's not yet safe. The Persian court is no friend to exiles. For now, she keeps her heritage hidden. While Esther settles into her role as queen, her cousin Mordecai continues his work near the king's gate. One day, he uncovers a plot to assassinate the king. He tells Esther, who reports it to the king in Mordecai's name. The conspirators are caught, and the incident is recorded in the royal chronicles. But Mordecai receives no reward. Esther 2 verses 21 to 23. Not yet. Soon after, the real danger emerges. A powerful official named Haman rises to prominence. Arrogant and hungry for reverence, he demands all bow before him. But Mordecai refuses, not out of rebellion, but because he will not bow to anyone but God. Esther 3 verses 2 to 4. Haman is enraged, but he doesn't just seek revenge on Mordecai. He wants to destroy all the Jews in the kingdom. With cunning and malice, Haman persuades the king to issue a decree authorizing the genocide of the Jewish people. He casts lots, or Purim, to select the day of destruction. Esther 3 verse 7. The date is set, the edict is sealed, and across the empire, confusion and dread spread like wildfire. When Mordecai hears of the decree, he tears his clothes, covers himself in sackcloth, and mourns in the streets. Esther 4 verse 1. News reaches Esther in the palace. She is safe, for now, but her people are not. Mordecai sends her a message with a haunting challenge. Do not think in your heart that you will escape. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4 verses 13 to 14. Esther is shaken. To approach the king without being summoned is punishable by death, even for the queen. Esther 4 verse 11. But something stirs in her spirit. Faith begins to rise above fear. She sends back her answer. Go, gather all the Jews, and fast for me. I will go to the king, which is against the law. and if I perish, I perish. Esther 4 verse 16. This is the turning point. The orphan girl becomes a fearless intercessor. The queen steps fully into her divine purpose. On the third day of the fast, Esther dresses in her royal robes and enters the inner court, uninvited. The tension is palpable, but the king extends his golden scepter, sparing her life. Esther 5 verse 2. With grace and wisdom, she invites the king and Haman to a banquet. There, she invites them again to a second banquet, buying time, praying for the right moment. Meanwhile, Haman's hatred for Mordecai grows. He builds a gallows 75 feet high, planning to hang him the next day. Esther 5 verse 14. But that night, the king cannot sleep. In a providential twist, he orders the royal chronicles to be read and is reminded of Mordecai's past act of loyalty. He realizes Mordecai was never honored, and by morning, he commands Haman, his enemy, to parade Mordecai through the city in royal robes, declaring his greatness. Esther 6 verses 1 to 11. The irony is stunning. God is orchestrating a reversal. At the second banquet, the moment of truth arrives. Esther reveals her true identity. If I have found favor in your sight, O king, let my life be given me at my petition and my people at my request. For we have been sold, my people and I, to be destroyed, to be killed, and to be annihilated. Esther 7 verses 3 to 4. The king is horrified. Who would do such a thing? Esther answers, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman. Esther 7 verse 6. The room erupts. Haman begs for his life, but his fate is sealed. He is hanged on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. Esther 7 verse 10. But the danger is not yet gone. The royal decree cannot be undone, not even by the king. However, a new edict is issued. The Jews are now permitted to defend themselves. Esther 8 verse 11. On the appointed day, across the empire, the Jews rise with courage and unity. They overcome their enemies. The very day meant for their annihilation becomes a day of victory. Mordecai is elevated to a position of great power. Esther's bravery changes the future of her people, and the event is commemorated in the annual festival of Purim, a celebration of deliverance, named after the lots Haman cast. Esther 9 verses 26 to 28. Esther's story is more than ancient history. It's a powerful reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they trust in God. She was not a prophet. She performed no miracles. She never spoke the name of God in the entire book. And yet, his fingerprints are on every page. Her courage was not loud. It was quiet, deliberate, and deeply rooted in faith. Her beauty may have opened the door to the palace, but it was her wisdom, humility, and boldness that saved a nation. In a world still marked by injustice, fear, and silent suffering, Esther's voice echoes, "If I perish, I perish." A declaration of faith over fear. Her story challenges us to ask, what is our such a time as this? Where can we stand up, speak out, and make a difference, even when it's risky? Esther's life teaches us that divine purpose often comes dressed in human uncertainty. But when we surrender to God's timing, He uses even the most unlikely people to fulfill His plans. If this story stirred something in you, if you believe that courage, faith, and purpose still matter, then share this video. Let Esther's story inspire someone else today. Make sure to subscribe for more powerful biblical stories brought to life. Leave a comment below. What does Esther's courage mean to you? Or share your own for such a time as this moment. Thanks for watching. And remember, even in silence, God is working behind the scenes.